Hello and welcome to Chat G&G. He's Grizz. That way even? Yeah, well, we've gone the wrong way there, Grizz. Great start for us, but
It's like one of those, when you're drunk.
your
right
eyes,
tonight.
your eyes are closed. That's why.
That's Gags. That's Grizz. Great start. Finger
How you
pointing
doing, brother?
everywhere. Over the place.
It's been a couple of weeks, huh? How's it
You
going?
know what it is? Shall I be honest with you?
Hmm.
Like I was telling you, I was having one of those, late siestas. When the sun's going down.
Yeah.
And I don't even know if it's going down. I had to look outside to see if it's going down. But when it's like sort of a little bit cooler than it has been, that sleep is the best sleep in the world. So I was just having that sleep before you rudely interrupted and said, what's the agenda?
Exactly. What is the agenda today? We're going to talk whole summer transfers today. And I think there's only one place to start, really, Grizz. Apart from, are you well? Everything going good? Things like that.
Yeah, formalities. Are you well?
Very good. Very good.
Good.
I'm very excited about the summer. I'm very excited about the rest of the transfer window for Liverpool. So I guess that's what we're going to get into. Let's first and foremost talk about the man that joined this week. Kerkez is a red.
Yeah, shocking, eh? I mean, the surprise of the summer. The surprise of the summer. I mean,
What a major surprise. Absolute crazy one.
No one saw that one coming, right?
Nope.
No one saw
Not
that
at all.
I mean, he's quite a character. Now, I don't know where you stand with this, right? And you're going to say, here we go. Let the kid. I know your opinion already, but I'm just going to test the waters anyway. I'm already finding him a little bit annoying. Now, people can say, what the hell? But the whole circus around his dad and everything else, right? Get on that pitch. You're a young lad. Focus on the task in hand. You have been brought in to replace one of the most professional, brilliant Premier League fullbacks in history, in Andrew Robertson. Don't act like an Albi Moreno. Because, even though we talked about stylistically, he's got a little bit of Albi Moreno in him, right? Don't act the clown from the off and all this, But look, maybe I'm getting a bit, give him his time. He's only 21 years old. Fantastic athlete, quick, lightning, and we needed that. We needed pace. We needed someone who's got abundance of pace. And let's see how he gets on. I just don't want to circus around him with him and his dad. This narrative, this agenda is already kind of being built now.
Yeah, to be honest, I'm not annoyed. I think, like you said, 21-year-old. I have a 20-year-old at home as well. And if something life changes happens for a 21-year-old, I know, same as, when I was 21, you get overexcited a little bit. And I think they've just hit the jackpot as well, Grizz, joining the champions of England. And I think the dad's going to be a bit overexcited and going a bit crazy.
No, I get it.
I actually love the overexcitement. I would behave in the same way. So it's nice to know that you're going to be, well, actually, you have been very horrible to me on Instagram when I've been overexcited about Liverpool in my shirts. So you are treating Kerkez the same as you would. Listen, you're treating Kerkez the same way you treat me. So it's fine. At least you're consistent. I'm giving you the respect that at least you're consistent in how you treat people that get overexcited.
Can we have some context? So Gags has been doing this annoying thing on Instagram.
See what I mean?
Even as a red. No. I love it, really. I just thought, when are you going to run out of T-shirts? I mean, I'll let you tell the people what you was doing on Instagram.
I'm on Instagram, Gags Tandon, and basically what I did since we won the league, since we beat Tottenham, I literally wore a Liverpool shirt, a different Liverpool shirt as well, Grizz. As you can be my different Liverpool shirt for 56 or 57 or 2 months, basically, every single day, and then made a collage of it right at the end, and it was just basically different songs being played in my stories. Brilliant. And stuff like that. It was just basically, I've got a lot of Man United fans that follow me from work and from previous jobs, and and Arsenal fans and Spurs fans, and then my family, who's most of it is in Manchester and London. So them seeing that and believe me, I was getting abused in my in my, not in public
I can
though,
well
but in my
imagine.
DMs
I can well
every
imagine.
day. But that was the whole point. I was hearing from people, Grizz, that I probably don't get to hear from on a daily basis.
Yeah.
And because of the pictures, I was getting engagement privately, and they were like, and then it would lead to some other combos about how you're doing, what's happening in life, whatever. So it was actually a quite nice thing for me in the end that even though I was trying to annoy people, it became a way of keeping in touch with people. And so the power of just engaging and being yourself
Of
and being
course, of course,
annoying
of course, of
leads
course.
to something else. And
Of
so,
course it does.
yeah, I love everything. Let's go back to Kerkez. I love everything about this. I love that he's excited. I love that he's a Man United fan and he's joined Liverpool and he's totally turned on him. You know, apparently it was a
His
Man
family,
United
yeah,
supporting
his family.
family.
Someone's mentioned that. Pakanuka says, rather have a character who's overexcited than cold and workmanlike.
Have you got an example of the cold and workmanlike?
Robertson. Well, no. He's
No,
not. But he started off.
not as excitable as this guy, but he's
Okay.
actually behind the scenes.
Okay, this
He's
is
a
my point.
character, like,
Okay. Let me elaborate.
Hmm.
Robertson, when he came in, did we hear a whimper from him? We didn't. He was very workmanlike. He didn't even get into the team. You know, who was he behind when he first came? Moreno, wasn't it? It was Moreno who was the fullback. So Robertson works his way into the lineup, becomes this legend, and then his character and personality come out, right? All I'm saying, guys, people in the chat, I'm not being a bitter old man. I'm just saying, work your way into the team. Show us what you're made of in terms of on the pitch, your attitude, your desire to win games of football for us, first and foremost. You're a learner, you're humble, and then your character will naturally come out. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
I just think the circus and his dad and his playing ole ole ole, and then they're making it about. Look, it's fine. It's fine. He is a character. He is excited. I get what you're saying as well. He's naturally enjoying being at the biggest club in the world. So look, we'll give it a shot.
Got his shirt. You know, when he actually did the whole thing, when he got his shirt and he did the signing, apparently he flew home in the same shirt. Wore it the next day as well when they did the pool party and everything. It's adorable, man. Like I love seeing someone very happy and very excited.
No, of course, we love it. Yeah,
You know,
it's a great feeling.
He respected Robbo a lot on his video. That, you know, I've grown up watching
It
him.
was. I loved the bit. So,
you know,
so this is what I wanted to add after the criticism, because I have to have a balance, and I like to think I'm a balanced individual. I love that part. That actually brought a nice feeling of warmth in my heart. The way he said, Robertson, I respect Robertson. He's been the best fullback in the, and be amazing experience to play with him and learn from him. I love that, which I kind of guess leads us into the sort of the Robertson conversation. By the way, it's me, Everest. Hi, it's me, Everest. It's me, Gags and Grizz here. Big up everyone. Like the stream for Grizz Uncle. He's right. He's not wrong. Whoever's locked in, like the stream right now, please. Pretty please. Yeah, I mean, I do. I love everything about this signing. The price, the way he's excited, the way I've got this vision of him, the way he's gonna play in this team. Did you notice a bit of lack of pace last season? We won the league, so we're nitpicking here, right? But there's always areas of improvement. There's always areas of improvement, and one of the areas was pace and dynamism throughout the team.
I completely agree. I think the additions of Frimpong and Kerkez are going to add way more pace down round the wings for us, and also the fact that they're going to underlap as well. Like, you know, I think Robbo and Trent, especially Trent, I think a lot of the time started to just stay back and wanted to come in field. I think Pep Linda's ruined Trent a little bit, where he just got into his head about he have to come inside all the time, you know, come on the inside, and we kind of missed that. So I think when Bradley plays, you see him trying to peg round Mo all the time, and now I think we're going to get that with Frimpong as well. And then on the other side, again, Robbo was not going forward as much, was he? So I think with Kerkez, we're going to have someone who's just going to attack.
we've probably suddenly got from well, I wouldn't say Trent was slow, but from one of the slowest pairs of fullbacks in terms of Robertson, Simicast, and Trent, a trio of slow fullbacks, to probably the two quickest fullbacks in European football, I'd say, or at least on a par with anyone. I mean,
Robbo
people
and Trent
mention,
were fairly quick when they first came in, but yeah, you're saying it just died down a bit, hasn't
of
it?
course, of course, of course, of course, and especially the style that Klopp installed in Liverpool. Robertson mileage in his legs. I dread to think how many sprints he's done. That's one for your stats show. I dread to think how many sprints Robertson's done in his Liverpool career. It must be record-breaking number of sprints, and it does take out of you. And what we know about Frimpong, and most certainly about Kerkez, because we probably watch him more because he's in the Premier League, is he does love his sprints. He is in the mold of that Robertson overlapping, energetic, pressing from the get-go. I just want to see if he's got the composure when defending. I don't want him to be a lasher out. Do you know what I mean by that, guys? Like a lasher out in defense, giving the penalties, free kicks away, not being composed. Like what did someone say here? Where was it? At least act like, where was it? Look, like selection says, Kerkez needs to act like he's been here before. At least act a little cool, man. No composure. That's fine, except on the pitch. He needs to have composure on the field pitch. Because if he shows the same excitable nature on the pitch, that could be slightly problematic. Do you know what I mean?
Well, when he played for Bournemouth, you could see a lot of him always very much pumped up and pump into the crowd. And so I think it translates from excitement into passion on the pitch. And he's
No,
someone who's
absolutely.
focused and driven. So what I've seen of him whenever I've watched him, or even if I see clips now and I go watch back with all the scouting that you can see on YouTube and stuff, which isn't really the best way to do it. But what you see is someone who's fast driven, wants to get in there. So, and when he's in there, like that testosterone starts to go, when you're in the heat of the battle, and you can see he's one of those that wears his heart on his sleeve. So I'm very, very excited. This is, I think, the best left back in the league has just joined us. So, I can't get any better than that. 40 million. We were worried about the price. It's not bad in the end.
No, it's a fantastic price. Hey, listen, come on. We've just talked about having the most quickest, paciest, and good on the ball, technically good, both of them. Pair of young fullbacks, Gags. Guys, people, Reds, ladies and gentlemen, this is what you call succession planning, future proofing for the next 4 or 5 years. Like between them, look at the profile, look at the ages, and look at the endeavor they're showing already to be here, the happiness and joy on their faces. I think it's been a fantastic pair of signings. Nicky says he brings us some stats. He says Kerkez most overlapping runs and second most underlapping runs in the Premier League season last season. That is brilliant. And that's exactly what we were alluding to, right? That's what we need. Ali says the fans will love him. I definitely think that the fans will absolutely love him. He's going to become a hero very quick. And you're right. How Robertson used to get the crowd going is, do you remember? We all remember the famous Man City where he chased the whole team down, every single one of them, and he got the atmosphere going. I think Kerkez is going to be one of those ones where he's going to get the crowd really up and at him type thing. So
we were asking for freshness, weren't we? I think at the end of the day,
yeah,
this is exactly what we've got. I'm really chuffed. I'm honestly so far 3. It's not 3 anymore because we're going to switch from Kerkez. If you've got anything else on Kerkez, it's not 3
no,
anymore.
Kerkez, we've spoken about enough Kerkez. Kerkez is now, and you've spoken enough Kerkez, and your dad's definitely spoken enough. Now it's time to put the words into action.
Now it's another goalie. You must have heard the news earlier.
Yep.
As WD Red has said, Freddie Woodman, homegrown slot, good decision. I know this wasn't on the agenda. I saw that comment. I thought we better put it on there very quick. So this counts as a transfer for me, Grizz. Sorry to say,
No, you're not doing that.
Hey, you didn't see it coming. It's a free transfer. It's going into the squad for the 7.
Such a cheeky shit.
So that's 4. 3 more to go.
You're such a cheeky shit.
How many can we get? 3 more? You think we get a Guehi, a striker, and maybe a winger? I think we just might get 7, my brother.
No, people, Gags cannot get away with that one.
Oh,
But
we
see,
can.
the pretext people, the context behind it. He said 7. I said 5. I said 4 or 5. He said 6, 7 players. Or did he say 7, 8? Be honest.
I just said 7.
Oh, he said 7. I said 5
Mm.
signings
Mm.
before the start of the window, and he's claiming this one as a signing.
You're lucky
Technically,
I haven't put Pesky in, mate, as well. That would have been.
No, shut up.
I'm joking. I said you're lucky I haven't. I said,
People, does he get away with this one?
You're a young kid as well. There's a
But
young
it makes
kid
all the
doing it,
sense.
so-
It makes all the sense. 3, I believe, and no issues, no dramas. So many other clubs have got sort of experienced English or homegrown keepers as their third choice. Yeah, Jumpy, he clearly wants Gags to win this bet.
John P. Is it me or does Gags look like a bit like a man who shows up when a crime boss calls in a fixer? Like, really?
Really? You're a fixer, are you? Okay, you never tell me that.
Trying to fix
Yeah,
the
like
transfer.
Daniel says, our very own Scott Carson. Man City done the same thing with Scott Carson. Did Arsenal have someone experienced as well? I remember in recent times. We know Man United had someone in recent times, didn't they? They had that Heaton, did they?
Yeah.
Or there was someone else as well before that as well. So yeah, we know that it's just something for the would you say for the administrative side of things?
Perfect. One thing I didn't know, I've never heard of this guy before. Let me be honest. I never ever heard of him. Never ever.
Oh,
This
I have.
guy.
I've heard of
No,
him.
I'm not. And but from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing is that he's not a bad goalkeeper at all. Like he's decent for a freebie.
Yeah, I just seen our very good friend Dave Hendricks tweet, who's suggesting that he's quite a good keeper. He's a very good keeper in terms of
So
a couple of years ago he had huge potential. Obviously, hasn't fulfilled that, but the experience and talent is there. He suggests. Who am I to
so
argue with Dave Hendrick? I mean, I would never argue with Dave Hendrick, would I?
no, I don't think anybody would. If you want to be called names, but basically, I would. I'm just very, yeah. Again, I'm very pleased that we're trying to cover that. It just, you know what this window's all about, and this signing is like so tactical, so strategic. It's just amazing. It's just a real good. You know what we've always said. When are we going to behave like a big club? When are we going to behave like what we need to do?
Like the biggest club in this country.
Yeah. When are we going to do that? So.
But can I ask something about that, Gags? Can I get
Hmm.
your opinion, people? And people,
Yeah.
let me know in the chat. I think that's a very good point and you raise, and you have asked that question, and everyone has. When are we going to act like the biggest club in the world? Now, I don't want to bring it back to Klopp, but it's chat G&G, and we chat about all things Liverpool. And of course, Klopp may not be here, but he's still part of Liverpool, and it's coincide, and it sort of goes into the slot era as well now, right? Do you think Klopp didn't help or aid us acting like the biggest club in the world with the way he always played the underdog card?
Yes.
And he liked us being, the underdogs. Whereas Slot has come in, and even, do you remember in his interviews, or do you remember when he's talking about his philosophy, he talks about domination? I want to dominate. We're a big club. It's good. It's the least we can do, win the league or challenge for the league. Straight away his ambition was up here. He didn't downplay anything. He was like, to be at Liverpool Football Club, you have to be the best player in the world in your position. Look at Mohamed Salah. That's the aspirations. That's the levels that we're looking to reach. Don't you think he's helped kind of bring about this act like who we are?
I would say, without thinking about it, I'd say you're right. But when I think about it, we did go in a window and spend, or between two windows, and go and spend 70 million on Van Dijk and 70 million on Alisson. I know we're going to say it was the Coutinho money, but then we did spend on Shaqiri that window as well. We did then spend before that on Mo and Mane and all these things. So constantly spending 30, 40, 60, 70, 80 million a year. And at that time, remember, the Premier League, you weren't making this much money. You weren't making 180 million a year. You were making half of that maybe, or 100 million a year. So we always, I don't think he was a blocker I think also what's the timing, why the timing's really, and I did think he was a blocker, by the way. I've changed my thinking on this because of the facts. Now, one of the facts is that this summer we don't have any transfer debt. What transfer debt, guys, is when you buy a player like Florian Wirtz, you're going to be paying that off in 5 years, right? You'll have to pay 15, 20 million a year, whatever. Now, if you buy 4 or 5 of those players, so if we buy, say, a £100 million striker, you're paying 40, 50 million a year in just installments, right? So that's your transfer debt every year. We're not going to probably make those big signings next year, maybe, or this year after. It'll be like 2, 3 years later that we do another big splurge. Liverpool is very smart in a way that if they've got that debt, then they won't be doing stupid things in the market. But because the debt's so low right now, they can spend a window and go boom. I think the timing, Grizz, is what's made this feel like that way. I did feel maybe Klopp was blocking a little bit, but the fact that we were going to spend 115 million on Caicedo blows that a bit out of the water.
Yeah, I get it.
So
Yeah,
I was wrong as well. I will admit I was wrong. I think I did say that before. So I think it's the transfer debt, if I'm honest. And Liverpool are behaving in this way because they can, and the timing's great. And we won the league, and we were in the Champions League again, so we got 60, 70 or whatever million it was at the quarters. So we were just, I think the timing is perfect.
It was due. Yeah, I agree with you. It is I agree with you. It's a combination of events and situations. But there is a part of me, and I spoke about it quite a few times on when I used to do shows on my own channel. It's got cobwebs on it. I used to often talk about sort of Klopp being, not only me, everyone knows about his loyalty to certain players, and if that loyalty sometimes held the club back in terms of succession planning. You know, he'd rather keep hold of his boys than plan ahead and be cold and ruthless.
I will agree with 100%. The Hendo stuff, giving him a new contract. He actually fought with
all of them.
He fought with Edwards to do that. Edwards left on the back of multiple of those things happening. That was his kryptonite, I'd say. It's actually something Dave says. It was like his strength and his weakness in one go.
Yeah,
because it often is. It's good to be.
But look, and before people jump on our necks and say, "Oh, here we go, Klopp bashing." No, absolutely.
We're here because of Klopp. We're here. We're in this position because of Klopp.
Absolutely, because he built this legacy in order for us to be flourishing now, like we are, and flexing like we are. So he built this foundation to become a juggernaut once again, and so therefore we're allowed to build on that now because of Jurgen Klopp. But no manager is perfect, no philosophy is perfect, no working process is perfect, and there was a couple of flaws. But talking about nothing's always perfect. Go on.
Yeah, Klopp.
I had a brilliant segue. You've ruined my absolute perfect segue.
Sorry, I had to say this though. If we continue to be successful now in this new era, we will always look back on Klopp like we did Shankly for the Bob Paisley stuff. So no one will ever disrespect. It's not bad to pick out negative parts and positive parts out of what's happened in the past. It's okay. Like just because we're speaking something that we agreed with or we didn't think was good in a manager doesn't mean we hated him. It doesn't mean that he was bad. He was the best thing that happened to us. And he built us into this machine, what we are now. FSG did a great job in bringing him in. They were the first 2 or 3 years, they were like, they fit like a glove. It was perfect. And then it went a little bit haywire, but they still managed to go and get the midfield that we got now. Right. Even though the recruitment was bad, they still went and got Dom and Mac and Grav, and they turned out to be amazing for Slot as well. So we have a lot to thank him for, and we should. But I don't think anybody should mean that he's a god and we should never say anything bad about him. There were bits that weren't right, and there were bits that did go sour at the end. So
he often spoke himself about, I don't know everything. I'm not perfect. I don't know some things, and he surrounded himself with people that he trusted, and relied upon. So yeah, look, he admits to not getting everything right, and that's fine. But anyway,
your segue, go on.
Well, it's not going to have the same effect now, but I'll try. We're talking about success, structure, being brilliant, the start of the transfer window. Everything is rosy. We've got 4 players in, if you want to count the new bloody third choice keeper, right? Bloody hell, you're clinging on here. I thought you're confident of 7. Now, why are you suddenly?
I'm still confident of 7.
Well, yeah, but now you are, because now you're counting bloody 5th choice keepers. For God's sake. Of course you're confident now. But anyway, you were sweating a little bit before that. But anyway, not everything always goes smoothly. It's part and parcel of life as a football fan, as a process, as recruiters, as everything, management, everything else. Couple of contracts that are now being brought to our attention. We've got Konate, but we can also add Diaz. Konate and Diaz situation. Just wanted to get your thought, and let us know in the chat what you guys think. Look at that, bang on cue. Mo says Luis Diaz is Al Nasser's top target, and offer between 85 million and 100 million euros could get it done.
I think that's old news, by the way.
By the way, it's not could. If we were to get that kind of figures for Luis Diaz, it would 100% be done. But the problem, Gags, and this is, we start off with Diaz and we go on to Konate. The problem with this, that is today's news, by the way. Mo confirms it is. Ben tweeted it.
Are you sure? Everybody I've been asking around, no one's seen it.
No. Ben spoke about that on a show today. Shout out to Ben. Ben's been on the ball, on the button.
Very good.
News this season. Good friend of mine. But what I was going to say is, Luis Diaz, I think the issue and the dilemma he has now, and I think he's in a very awkward and sticky position. I don't know what you think, guys. Let us know in the chat what you guys think. Me and Gags will give our opinion. I don't think he wants to go Saudi. And I think Saudi, the only club that can afford the price that we want for him. I think he had his absolute eyes, head, brain, body, limbs ready for Barcelona. But Barcelona, reports suggest, reliable Barcelona journalists suggest they're going for Nico Williams. What do we do with Lucho now? What's the situation? How do we deal with this?
So, there's two things, obviously. I mean, I'm going to say the obvious. One is he stays, right? But then if he stays, it means Darwin and Jota got to go. And Diaz becomes the backup striker for whoever the striker is that comes in, right? But then can still cover them, and then we can maybe get another left winger then instead of Jota, right? So Diaz becomes that striker like last season. We won the league in that way. I don't think it's going to be the best option, but or he has to decide that he goes to Saudi and take. Remember, he's 28 and he has 2 years left, right? Okay, and he's on 60k a week. He is desperate to get his value in his peak. And if he rots for 2 years and goes for free, that's 2 years wasted of where he could have made some decent coin. So he's got a big decision to make, this summer, whether he wants to go and jump to. I know there's some Bayern links out there for him as well, but I just don't see Bayern spending that much money on Diaz or Gakpo, if I'm honest. But I think Saudi is the only option, and if he wants to make money, he'll get 200 grand there easy.
Oh no, the money's not a problem. This is what I'm trying to say. He is in an awkward position. I don't think we're forcing him. Okay. No. I think
the news came out today. We're not willing to give him a new contract, and that's what's forcing him to leave. Then, because if he's not getting a good pay rise,
this is my point. This is why I stopped in my tracks, Gags. I do think not forcing him out, but we're trying to say you can go.
Yeah, go. Please go. We need the money to buy another winger or a forward, and we would rather you go. So and plus you need the money, as in you want to get your worth. We're not going to pay you more than 60k. If you want to stay till next season, you're still only going to get 60k. We're not going to. And if you want to waste 2 years of your career and you're 30, you're probably not going to get the same money you're going to get now in your peak. So he is backs against the light. This is Liverpool.
This is my point. He is in a very awkward and tricky situation because he definitely wants to stay in Europe. But like you said, Bayern and Barca are the only teams I think that will pay big bucks for him. Even Bayern, maybe not 45, 50 million maximum, I'd say Bayern could pay. Either of them could pay. Daniel says, I agree, Grizz. Diaz.
Oh, sorry. I'll do it again. Go for it.
Sorry, not often someone agrees with me. Bloody leave it on the screen for more than a second. I agreed, Grizz Diaz would rather stay in Europe, but I do think he'll go purely because he'll finally be paid handsomely. Also, his position in the national team isn't under threat in a World Cup here. Yeah, great points. I changed my mind about Diaz, like we said every week. I think, are we being cold-blooded to another level in this case? I think he deserves a pay rise. I think he deserves a new deal. I don't think he's at that level where we're talking about Keita, Milner, Henderson, all that era. I don't think he comes in that category.
No, I agree with Liverpool in terms of this is the time to cash in and move him on. We've had him on this low wage, and we've been very lucky that we got him in. And I think it's about time we just said, you know what, you're 28. We don't want to give we don't want to give you a 4 year.
He's good.
It's a 4 year deal.
Effective.
You know what he could do for 4 years with us if we gave him 150 grand now? He could just run the 4 years down and then go for a free at 32 and get another big money thing. What's the point? We shouldn't do it. We should really cash in now. And you know what? We want ruthless. We said Klopp should be ruthless. We just said to Klopp that you were too kind to players.
Well, this is Nicky's backing up that. He says you chat about being ruthless, and now that we are, you backtrack. No, I don't backtrack. I think I love the ruthlessness. But
you're just being kind to a player, right? You're just trying to think of it.
I tell you why. A, he's been one of the better performers, right? And he seems rejuvenated in this new role, or a couple of roles that he could cover, left and center, right? And B, I'm looking around the wide forward market in world football, and people are giving me Rafael Leao. Stop it. Stop throwing Rafael Leao in the chat. After Kvaratskhelia, who I would have eyes closed swapped for Luis Diaz.
Yeah.
There's a Gordon out there. Nico Williams is off to Barcelona. There's a Rodrigo at Madrid now. I know most people.
Young lad.
Who?
The lad at Lyon, the young lad.
Malik Fofana again.
I really like
Luis Diaz. I mean, I'm the one who tweeted interest in him months ago.
I really like him.
I like him too. But we're talking about Champions League and league title aspirations, and he's a project. If you're taking out a certified starter, a certified impact player like Luis Diaz, how many times has Luis Diaz got us out of trouble or put us in the lead? And you're suggesting we replace him with an absolute rookie who's hugely talented.
But remember, the striker, so Darwin's not bailed us out too much. He did it a few times this season, but when you replace him and we just say we do get the striker we want in, let's just play a game. Just say Isaac is the one that comes in, right? Or Isaac, how you say his name, is the one that comes in. That's replacing that Diaz kind of game changer thing. And then you can have a project on the left because Gakpo is really the first choice. And then Fofana would be the second choice. So you can have a project in there at the time.
Okay, before people say, oh, Fofana, I do think we should bring in Fofana. But I think Fofana should be the long-term project for Mohamed Salah as well. I think it'd be amazing on the right as well.
You know when they keep saying that versatile young forward.
Yes,
I reckon they're talking about him, right? Because he can play across. So
absolutely. Yeah. So I do agree with Malik Fofana in terms of we should bring him in, but I don't think it should be at the expense of Luis Diaz, because that will mean Gakpo is your wide man you're left with. And I don't know if I'm comfortable with just having Gakpo. I know Malik Fofana will be the other option, left or right, but I still want another season of Diaz and Gakpo as I left. Unless, as I said, unless you bring me in Kvaratskhelia is gone, Nico Williams is gone. Unless you bring in a Gordon. I know he splits the opinions of fan bases, not just Liverpool fan bases, but all football fans. But I think he'd be electric at Liverpool. I genuinely think Gordon would be electric. Otherwise, I don't see many forwards. Otherwise, I don't see many forwards that are ready to step in like that. People throwing in Kenan Yildiz and hell no, Gordon. Yeah, he splits opinion. You rate Gordon over Leao? That's crazy. Gordon is on 170k. He's not. But and I guarantee you, if you rate Leao, then yeah, that's fine. It's opinions, isn't it? I'm not here to bash people's opinions. I'm here to give mine and tell you your opinion stinks. But yeah, Rafael Leao, like talk about underwhelming, huge amounts of talent, just hasn't got the heart and the design, the application to be the player that he could be and should be. And I don't want him to be learning and all that at Liverpool Football Club. We are now a destination of players. When they come, they're at the pinnacle of their career. They have a desire and a hunger, like Frimpong is showing, like Kerkez is showing, like Verts is showing. Liao doesn't come into that category at all. He may be as talented as some of those names, but my God, talent can only take you so far. You need so much more. Ask all his previous coaches that have worked with him, ex-players, pundits, and they'll tell you about Rafael Leao. Don't be blinded by a couple of flicks and tricks and pace down the wing. Subject closed on Rafael Leao.
So, from
So what do we
Diaz's
decide on Luis Diaz?
I
You're
would
saying-
I would, if we can get the money and he's willing to go, you take it.
Okay. And the other one,
Konate.
this is massive. This is huge. This is complex. I don't think this is straightforward. Thoughts?
You're gonna hate me. Everyone's gonna hate me. But I explained it like this in Discord. And if
Go
you're
on.
not in Anfield Index Discord, you're welcome to join us, anfieldindex.com/Discord. I explained it in this way that if you were to sell Ibrahima Konate this summer, it's so difficult to get a CB, a centre back of that stature in this summer. It's going to be tough. I think planning a year of it would be better. And if we do lose him this summer, I think the squad actually is hurt really, really. It's massively hurt. And therefore, the difference in him in going could be a league spot, a couple of league spots, could be a couple of rounds in the Champions League. And so if you're going to just get 20, 30 million for him with a year left to go, you're probably going to lose that in if you leave him, we're probably going to lose that in the league positions and the round that we go out in the Champions League. We'll probably lose 20 million in that. So the actual gain is nothing. You get nothing. Why not win the league and the Champions League again? Get the next player in as well as a backup CB for Kwanzaa, and actually go and win the whole damn thing. And he can go, and we actually gain that money, gain a couple of trophies, win things. I think people hate too much. I always say this to you. I've said this to you in the past. I said this to everybody about Trent. I would say trophies are greater than hate. And I would want him to stay and go if he wants to go for free, he can go for free. And he'll get that hate from people that want to hate. But I'd love to take those trophies first. So for me, success comes first before the hate. Success comes first before. And you think about the money, you want the money, we're probably going to lose that money in the spots that we lose in the league, because that's how important he is. We're not going to replace him like for like. We're just not this summer. So it's going to be next year that we do that. So my argument is you're going to lose that money anyway, no matter what, in positions and maybe in trophies as well. Would you not want to keep the trophies? I get your hatred. I think people need to breathe sometimes and think logically a little bit and step out and go, you know what? I'd rather win. Give him another year. Let's win everything again. And then, you know what? Back to back is more important than hating on Konate. Winning 2 league titles in a row is more important than that.
I don't think this is a hatred scenario.
But that's why people want to sell him, because they hated what happened with Trent and they're going to hate on Konate. It's hate, though.
I think this is different from the Trent scenario. And I think this is, again, I always agree with the process, and I always agree with the decision makers, and I always err on the side of the decision makers. Some people, that's why people call me an FSG spokesperson. You know, how am I FSG spokesperson? I don't know. I've never received any monies from FSG. I want to make that very, very clear. I just like the way they run things on the whole. Of course, they have their flaws. I disagree with this one if we don't give him a new contract. I disagree. I think Ibu deserves a pay rise. I think Ibu deserves a new contract. And I think Ibu is just negotiating with them and they're playing hardball. I get it with the Diaz. You explained it with the Diaz scenario and you made sense and people explained it and I accept it. right?
But
So I'm a
Ibu,
fair man.
he gets a chance like Mo and Verge to go and earn a contract like they go on
No,
in
I
Jan
think
or whatever.
I think he deserves it now. I think he shouldn't need to be sweating. It could affect. He's not as experienced as Salah and Virgil, um, and even Trent to a certain extent. He's not as experienced at dealing with contract negotiations and performing at the same time.
We don't know
Virgil
what
and
we
Salah.
want, though. We don't
Virgil
know.
and but yeah, but look, it won't be extortionate. It won't be more than Virgil, Mo, and
Oh
Allison
yeah,
and these people, right?
yeah.
So we know that he's on a low wage, just like Luis Diaz. And I think he's one of the world's best centre backs, especially the way we play, especially the way Frimpong is going to continue to play. I think Ibu deserves it. Eval says maybe Ibu doesn't understand that when we boo him, he thinks we don't like him.
Ibu! Love it. That's a good one.
No, he knows we love him, my friend, but that's a great one. He knows he love him. I'm keep Ibu, not at all costs. Of course, we don't get held to ransom. We're Liverpool Football Club. But look, I think we're going to come to an agreement anyway. And I think this is just play from both sides. But we are very, very hard taskmasters in the negotiation table. Ask Virgil and Salah, who had to wait until the last month or so to actually agree deals. So Ibu, carry on trying it. Ultimately, if Ibu and Diaz are moved on, I'm okay with it. I do trust the process, but I'd rather, at the very least, one of them stays. And that one for me is overwhelmingly Ibu Konate.
Dude, this is hilarious.
I mean, I can't laugh because,
FSG.
like this
Someone
is
called us
slander.
out FSG.
Like, accusations will be
Well,
rife.
hey, John Henry, thank you so much for the $199. If you just put a couple of zeros on the end of that, would have been nice. Maybe
Accusations
so
will be rife amongst social media now that Liverpool FSG do actually pay Grizz Kahn
So
for saying nice and positive things.
people are asking to move to the next topic, and I think we've said it on these two. And the next topic is Mark, the difference maker, Guehi. The reason why I call him difference maker here,
Okay, interesting. Go on.
it's a bit of a joke and it's funny, is because since he's been linked to us, every opposition fan that I've seen either on YouTube or on Twitter, they go, "Oh my God, that's it! They're going to win the league."
Oh, right.
So whenever they see that we're going to get Mark Guehi, forget words, and that we're linked to Isaac or whatever. Mark Guehi was the one where they turned around and went, "That's it! They're going to win the league." So this guy is the difference maker according to the whole opposition fans. That's the one. So I've nicknamed him the difference maker. Mark the difference maker, Guehi. So I think I'm very excited now about this, just because the opposition fans fear him so much. That I really want this deal to happen. Just because of the fallout from the fans.
I really want this deal to happen. I'm not overly excited with it in terms of the player, but I like the thinking, I like the planning, and I like the fee, and I like the fact that he's another homegrown, an experienced English defender. I like all of that, and I also like the fact that he's a leader. Apparently, speaking to a few Palace fans, they are absolutely gutted about this fella leaving in terms of the leadership qualities he brings, and he's a very good centre back. Now, I don't think he's a great centre back. Hopefully, I'm proved wrong and he turns out to be a great centre back, but you don't have to have 11 great players. You have to have professionals. I don't think many people would say Joe Gomez is a great centre back, but Joe Gomez brings you professionalism, behind the scenes, a good egg, so to speak, right? And never lets you down, right? Apart from when he's injured. I think Guehi would come in that category where I don't think he'd let us down. Don't know what you view him as.
Whenever I've watched him play, especially against us, he annoys the shit out of me because he does so well. He plays so well, So I think when I've watched him for England as well, he's done well. So, I mean, he seems solid. Seems very, very solid for us. A solid buy. Again, you know, when I talked about right at the start of the show, the strategy behind the signing, the tacticalness that we're doing in the market. Homegrown, really solid player, really great backup, will actually fight to be first choice and will have the pride to not be wanting to sit on the bench and play his ass off to get in there. If he has to play left back and if he has to, you know, he can pass the ball.
Yeah.
You know, he's quite strong as well. He's got a good, strong upper body strength. He's not very good in the air, and that's the only weakness I think for everybody that is doubting him. But you know, I think he's doing. I think he'll be a great signing for us. I really do. He'll be one that's under the radar in terms of underrated out of all the shiny names. But I think he excites me so much. Just one, because the opposition fans are so mental about he's going to be the difference maker for us, and they've already conceded the title because Mark Guehi is bloody joining us. But not only that, I think just because it gives us strength, it's a massive upgrade to Kwanzaa. Massive. And I know you're saying he's lower than the other two, but the gap between Kwanzaa and the other two was huge.
No, I get that.
This bridges the gap, and to have him as a more dependable option than Joe, Joe might be playing left back or right back, depending
This is
on
my
what
point.
happens and Simi. You know,
But this is my point. The purchase of Guehi gives us, as a combination, the best quartet of centre backs in Europe. I'd say. Combined.
Wow.
It does. Someone tell me 4 centre backs of the quality that we'd have. Kwanzaa was always the not let down, but you know,
No,
the
weak
weak point.
link. He was.
Guehi adds to that. Guehi adds to that consistency, the performance, experience, and that Danilo says, snap him up quickly. 40 million is great business. Great business. Let's not forget.
5 million over what we got for Birmingham.
How much did Newcastle have refused in just only January? I think it was close to 70 million refused for him.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
will we get him though? Will we get him for 40? Do you think it'll happen?
I think it'll happen. Yes, I think he's be the next.
And that's the next one, right? You think
the next proper signing, not your.
Shut up, okay? It's number 5. Number 5.
This will be our 4th signing
5th
of the summer. And once we have that 4th signing of the summer, I think it's only fair to segue into the segment of the 5th potential signing, and that will be an attacker and a forward. We all believe, because Darwin Nunez is certainly out of the door, which gives us space up front to bring in a striker, a number 9. And we all know the name on everyone's lips.
And we'll talk a little bit about Darwin first. So do you think the money that's being quoted for him, that's the first talking point? Some people are saying we want 60 million, but some people are saying we're going to be okay to accept between 40 and 45. If I'm honest with you, on the books, he's worth 21 million. So whatever we sell him for, it's going to be more than that. It's going to turn out to be a profit, right, for us. Oh my God. What? Where's this cat come from?
We cater for everyone, and Ivan is in the building. Ivan, most welcome.
The Schwack office here. My goodness.
There you go. Chat G&G has gone levels today because we have Ivan joining us.
Ivan, tell us what we're going to get for not Grizz. We're selling Grizz now. We're selling Grizz. Anybody want a Grizz? Grizz is dopey. We're selling Grizz dopey. No. How much did we get?
With Nunez, Gags, I don't care about the fee.
Me neither, really.
Honestly, I don't.
I need him to go. I need that spot, the 9 shirt, to be free, because then someone's definitely coming in, and my excitement's going to go through the roof.
What I will say is Liverpool fans forget this optimism or dream or aspirations of getting 60, 70 million. No one is going to bid more than 50 million pound for him. No one. No. We may squeeze in 5-10 million on add-ons.
Yeah.
If they win a league or whatever the add-ons they put in. But no one's going to bid, and we will accept that. Obviously, we're going to try to play hard and get as many pounds or euros as we can, but I think we'll accept around the 45 million, 50 million pound mark, which will equate to about 60 million euros or whatever. And that's
Yeah,
the most. And I'm happy with that.
yeah, me too.
Then what?
No debate, no debate. So I think what that leads to, Grizz, if he goes, is this the big one? This is the banger. Really,
I think before this question,
we got 10 minutes to go.
yeah.
So,
And this is everyone's been waiting for this segment, I guess, because strikers, attackers is where the money is at, right? This is
yeah,
where
the
the
main
buzz is.
event.
This is where the exciting. This is the main event. We've had all the what are they called? Undercard.
Mm-hmm.
Can I ask a question before we get into specifically Alexander the Great Isaac? Is it Isaac or bust in your idea? And people let us know in the chat. Is it Isaac and wait, or do
Not
we
wait.
look at plan B and plan C? What do you do?
I think it's quite clear we've got plan Bs and Cs. I think the fact that no striker has moved yet. There are some strikers on the market. There's why do you say his name? Gyökeres, whatever. Gyökeres, that's it. Gyökeres. You got Gyökeres, you got Ekitike, you got Osimhen.
Sesko.
None of them have moved. Sesko's going to Arsenal, I think. That's pretty much locked. I'm not
No,
really
it's
bothered
not.
about Sesko either. I'm
But
not
it's
really.
not. No, but I know what you mean. Yeah,
He's
I know
not
what
the
you mean.
most exciting one. The others are way more.
Alvarez.
I don't think Alvarez is going anywhere either, personally.
No, I don't. But
Yeah, I think
Link.
Isak is the gem. If Alvarez was available, he'd also be the gem. Like it's joint between them. But what I'm hearing on what this guy could do for us, Isak, is game changing, just because of the numbers he pulls. And I know he only got 20 a season or something for Newcastle, but believe me, it'll be a completely different kettle of fish at Liverpool. It'll be completely different kettle of fish. That's the guy will explode if he joins us. If is the big thing. I really do think that he's the one we need to get. But I wouldn't be too bothered if we had to go for a B and we couldn't get him. But also for Isaac, it's now or never. We won't wait for a year for him. He's going to be 28 next year. It's like Diaz position. Got to get him in now for a 4 or 5 year deal. And if he does well for 3 years, great. And if we do want to move on, after 3 years, he will get a decent fee for him at 30 as well. But I really do think
If he says to you,
Hmm.
look, they've reached the Champions League. I've helped him get here. I've got
Hmm.
3 years deal. Sorry, I've got 3 years left. They want stupid money at the moment. Hold out. Let me give them a Champions League run out, right? Then that will leave 2 years on my contract, and you can negotiate at 80, 90, or 70, 80,
No.
90.
No, not worth
Are you
it.
going to wait?
No,
You're
not
doing
worth
it.
it.
You're not waiting for Alexander
No,
Isak.
no, not at 28. No, not at
What's the matter
28.
with you, man?
No. I'm telling you now, the way Liverpool work, this is now or never for him. And I think Liverpool probably would have told him as well. This is now or never. And the reason why no one, but it hasn't been really pushed down that it's a no. There's players that we've gone for in the past that Liverpool have been really quick to tell their journos and the opposition team who you're buying from would come and say, yep, there's nothing in this. We're not buying him. Has that happened anywhere?
Okay.
No,
Again,
but
I don't want to be a spoil sport and a Debbie Downer, right? But I don't expect it to happen in this situation for a couple of reasons.
Go on then.
A, because it's very open, apparent, obvious that he's our number one target, right? And we also know that they're in the market to recruit not one, but 3 or 4 players that they want to improve their team, not squad, which means they have to spend circa 150 to 200 million pounds. So the stars do align at some point where it kind of gives them the opportunity to be able to strengthen the whole team. And for us, we have, for the first time in my memory, I don't know about yours, yours goes back about 15 years more than mine. In my memory, we have actually funds to bloody make this work.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Yeah.
We can actually do this. And so therefore, all those things taken into consideration, I get the noise coming out from both flanks. I get the noise coming from Newcastle because they're not sure. They don't want to really say nothing, and then suddenly look like idiots when we splash £135 million on the table and say, Hanji, Bolo. Hanji Bolo means, yes, speak now.
Shall I tell you
Because
what I
when
think?
that £135 million, and notice I keep saying 135 million, bear that in mind, people, 135 million figure, because that's the figure I believe we are willing to put down
Shall I
for
tell you what I
Alexander.
think is happening, Grizz? I think there's turmoil internally at Newcastle at whether they should do this or not, and they are properly debating it internally. I bet.
Yeah.
Half of them are probably saying we should do this right now and get the money and get the player and and get all the players we want this summer, and over from now till August or September.
This is it.
But then there's someone in there saying no, let's keep him, let's build around him. And I honestly believe that's in my head. I reckon that's why it's taking so long as well to get into something. Is that these are probably the things that are happening internally there. That there's a proper debate going on whether this should happen.
But this is a world record bid, Gags. We're prepared
Yeah.
to make a world record bid as long as we get the go ahead. As long as they say there is a price. It's very apparent because Isak hasn't come out and said anything to, as you said, to sort of say no, I'm staying here.
Ali A is saying is that they will face the backlash. I think there's it's interesting, Ali, you say that, but this is transfers, and in the world of transfers, setting the narrative is very easy, and telling the story is very easy. All they have to say is leak to the press. Isaac has told them that he wants to join Liverpool. All of a sudden, the fan base will turn on Isaac, and Newcastle will say, well, we had to get the big record money in. And all of a sudden, Newcastle will look like the heroes in the situation, and Isaac will be the villain. So I don't think they face any backlash. This can be manhandled, and this can be. And you know what? If it does happen, that will probably be the story that comes out. If it does happen, that's what will be leaked to the press. If it does, and I'm not saying it will, but I'm saying if it does, that's the way it will happen, because the player will be the villain always, even if he doesn't hand in a transfer request. Just that he said he would like to join them. And the fans will turn on that. The fans, and you feel sorry for those fans because they are backing him to the hilt on Twitter and on X and on every other social media. They're going to war right now against Liverpool fans, and anything that comes out there, and even this clip, if it comes out, they'll be going to hate on it as well. But that's how you would do it. That's the strategic nature of transfers and how you play with the game and how you play with setting the news up and setting the narrative online. It's easy.
People, we've been a bit lazy in asking to like and subscribe today. The chat's been so riveting and the topics have been so hot that we've forgotten to do the boring side of things, where we ask for likes. The boring things where we say, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe already. I believe there's over 4,000 people watching.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
We do love and appreciate you all, but we do love you even more and appreciate even more if you come over to the YouTube channel, subscribe, and hit that like button. I don't know if it should only be Isak. If we can't get Isak, do we move on to Ekiteke?
I think so.
I think we're gonna have to, right? We can't leave that striker's berth vacant. He looks like Isak, the one that joined from Real Sociedad.
Well, this is why I love the scouting department and our club, because they will find the next best kind of. They want to go for the real deal for once. They don't want to do projects. They want to go real deal. But if you can't get the real deal because it's out of your, the Newcastle just put the boards up and
develop the next one,
then you might as well get the next one that's younger, spend a little bit less, maybe spend a bit more on a winger or a backup striker as well. Get two in if Jota and Darwin go, So
I want at least one Geordie in our team next season. Either Gordon.
You want Gordon in.
But if you can't get Isak,
well, the deal, I reckon the Gordon deal can happen if Isak doesn't come in. I think they've already, like, Harvey Barnes is more or less.
I think they're more willing to sell Gordon now.
Yeah.
Definitely more than Isak. But our Gordon attempt would, I think, depend on Diaz scenario. I wanted to end with one name
Go on.
that is not being mentioned enough.
Mm.
Bob Paddock, who's a regular on my channel, on my shows as well. Big up, Bob. He says Osimhen, Ekiteke is unproven. Why isn't Victor Osimhen being more talked of or about? And could we see someone like that? Because I believe Osimhen is the most certified goal scorer available right now. So I'm talking certified goal scorer. But I absolutely understand when people talk about the rest of his game. He's not the cleanest of link-up players. He's strong as an ox. He
Could
run the
we get?
channels,
Could we get?
but he's a goal
Osimhen?
scorer.
Could we get Osimhen and Ekitike for the price of Isak?
We could, but I've argued with this with you before. We done this whole. We're not bringing in 2 number 9s, Gags. We're just not.
If Jota and Darwin are going, I don't see why not.
I don't think Jota's going. I think he wants to give Jota.
I hate this, by the way. I hate this attitude thing. Honestly, it's so overblown. This attitude thing. It's people have just taken this from some nonsense and made it into a real narrative. The guy was, racially abused by his own team's admins or whatever. If you're not going to have an attitude over that and stand up to that, then believe me, you're a pussycat. And you're talking about Osimhen. This is a lion, man. This is a tiger. He's a killer. Why wouldn't you want him to stand up? You think you're just going to take it on the chin when shit like that happens? Come on, man. Stop talking nonsense. Learn what actually happened. Go and understand it. That's why the attitude problems came, because he got treated like shit. Would you take that in your workplace? I got treated like that once. I was told I wasn't normal. I went straight up to the next boss above that boss and got them being absolutely battered. How dare they say that to me? And then if I'm accused of a bad attitude because I did that, I will not stand for it.
No, it's
we have had enough of people being abused in that way. No, sorry, Hamza. I wasn't.
Yeah, it's not aimed at you. Just generally the narrative. Yeah,
you know, the narrative's been said, Hamza. I apologize with my tone. It's not at you at all. It's that you've picked that up because people are saying it, right?
That's right.
People are saying it. And if I don't stand up for someone, a minority, I'm a minority. Grizz is the minority. If we don't stand up for minorities, man, then who is? You know? And I've been treated that way. I'm sure Grizz. Hey, I was a young lad growing up in this country. I got called a Paki. I'm not a Paki. I'm a Hindu, but still, that hurts because it's trying to belittle us. You know, so we don't stand for that shit, man. You don't. People, I'll tell you another story, and this is going really wide of the mark. At school, they couldn't say my name. Gagan, my teacher, 80-year-old old Buddha, old man, couldn't say my name. He used to call me George. I never used to answer him back on the register. I was 12 years old. And he used to make me stand on the chair because he wouldn't even say Tandon. He would say George because he couldn't say Gagan. Right? I used to get abused because of that. I got bullied because of that.
And you got your stall out.
And I set my stall out. I'm not answering your name. I'm not answering George. I'm a fan of George Michael, but I'm not answering that name. I got sent out of the class after standing on the chair and people laughing at me. I got sent out of the class. I then used to get beaten up and bullied because the teacher made that normalized. He normalized it. He let it happen. Sorry, I'm going a bit off, but I think the story needs to be told sometimes. And now I call myself Gags Tandon because when people don't say the name right, it triggers you. You understand? So they leaves a mark sometimes. Leaves a mark. All I'm saying is let's gone a bit far, but
no, it needed to be said, and everything has context behind it. No, it needed to be said. It needed to be. Some things are far bigger than football, whatever. And look, Victor Osimhen, Big Vic, as we're gonna call him from now on. I think we should look at him, and I think just for that story in itself, I think we should go for him if we can't bag Isak. But I think we're going to make an attempt at Isak. I think we're going to make a very. I said it on the first Red Room show. I dropped a Grizz bomber, and then I think a couple of journalists have followed it up and said Liverpool will make a move. I think we will make a move, whether it's accepted for Isak. Whether it's accepted, whether the deal materializes, we don't know. No one knows. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah. I
want Big Vic now. I want Big Vic now.
I would love Big Vic because he would strike fear. Like they would be real.
I tell you what, Salah, Diaz, Osimhen, and then you're talking about Gakpo there and Wirtz there. I tell you what, and then you got the delivery of Kerkez. Listen, guys, it's the time to be excited. It's time to be happy. It's time to keep on supporting not only the Reds but Anfield Index. 4,300 over here. God knows how many on YouTube and all the other platforms. I think this has been our most watched show so far. It's growing.
I apologize for getting hot.
No, you don't need to apologize at all. Absolutely, you don't need to apologize. Some things need to be said. There are stances that need to be made. And you made your stance. And you've done well out of it. So big up Gags. Big up Big Vic. Big up Isak if he signs. Whoever signs, we're going to big him up because that's what we do as supporters of Liverpool Football Club. I think this has been an amazing show. I've really enjoyed chatting to you. The 1 hour, 7 minutes have gone just like that. Nothing's really happened this week. Can you believe it? We bought a 4th choice goalkeeper or 3rd choice goalkeeper.
Shut up.
And you claim it as a transfer, one of your 7 transfers that you've predicted, Mr. ITK Gags Tandon. You want to rule the roost? Come on then.
7 is what we want. 7. So we've got 4.
I think 5. A centre back and a striker, and I'm absolutely so happy with the business. But hey, bring me a.
But if Jota, because if Isak happens, Jota looks like. Apparently, there's news about Elliott as well today that they're interested. That would be a great deal for us.
We didn't even get a chance to speak about more outgoings, but we'll do that on next week's show.
Yeah.
But it's been wonderful, man. And listen, chat GNG every Friday looks like 8 p.m. at the moment. We've been quite consistent now. That's 2 Fridays and 8 p.m.
No, we did Monday last week, mate.
Oh shit. Damn.
I love just pulling you up on these things. It's just the way our dynamic works.
I'd get away with it if you're not here. Fake news. Fake
by
news.
The way, Hamza, I am so excited because I think they want.
I'm buzzing for preseason.
They want them all in. I've got a feeling they want them all in for the 7th.
I'm buzzing for preseason. I'm buzzing for our next show, which will be we'll let you guys know. But if you've got your notifications, if you've got your notifications on, if you've subscribed, you'll already know. And check out the rest of the great content the rest of the lads are doing. Trev Downey, Dave Davis, on a daily basis, bringing you outstanding work. Me and Gags are part-time as well. I'm definitely a part-timer. Gags is
no. I'm the part-timer here. I'm the one show a week guy. Grizz is doing headroom. Grizz has got his big 6. Grizz is active, man. So go and follow Grizz wherever you need.
I'm part-time as well. I'm part-time as well. But it's been wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us for another Gags Chat G&G. And we'll be back next week. And let's hope we've got some more signings through the door. You never know with Liverpool the way we're going.
Yeah, backup centre back, we could do a couple of youngsters. It would be great. We'll be up to 7 before we know it. Might get 10 in.
Well, you still get it wrong because you said 7. So you get it wrong.
Anything above 7 is good for me, bro.
No, you said 7 as a specific number.
Hey, but I'd be happy, right? Like, it doesn't matter if I'm wrong. Happiness is
more than happy, but don't you want to be right and happy or just wrong and happy?
No, look, mate. Let's be honest. If we get the 3 and it's 6,
we'll carry on this argument. We'll carry on this argument off screen. People, peace out, love and tranquility to you all. Take care. Bye bye.
Up the Reds.